The emergency beacon cut through the quantum static like a scream in the void. Emergency Coordinator Yelnara's tentacles coiled in distress as she processed the transmission from the research vessel Scientific Endeavour, her bioluminescent patches flickering with barely contained panic. "Mayday, Mayday," the voice crackled through the speakers, high-pitched and trembling with terror. "This is Captain Zithara of the Galactic Research Consortium. Our ship has suffered critical engine failure near the prohibited system Sol 3. We are being pulled into the gravity well of the Deathworld, requesting immediate assistance." The bridge of the rescue coordination station fell silent. Every being present, Altarians with their compound eyes, gaseous Vorthians in their containment suits, crystalline Zephyrians, all turned toward Yelnara with expressions of horrified fascination. Sol 3. The legendary Deathworld, whose very mention sent chills through civilized space. "Confirm coordinates," Yelnara whispered, her voice barely audible above the hum of life support systems. "Coordinates confirmed," her aide reported, voice trembling. "Sol system, third planet. The water Deathworld. The gravity hell. The place where everything tries to kill you." Sol 3, or Earth as its indigenous species called it, was classified as a Class XII Deathworld, the highest possible rating on the Galactic Habitability Index. A planet where liquid dihydrogen monoxide fell from the sky in toxic quantities, where the atmospheric pressure could crush most civilized beings, where the gravity was so intense that it could snap bones like twigs. Most terrifying of all, it was the homeworld of humans, the galaxy's most notorious Deathworlders. "Sir," Communications Officer Velta reported, his forearms trembling as he manipulated the controls. "The Scientific Endeavour has 17 crew members aboard, including 3 of the galaxy's leading xenobiologists. If they crash on Sol 3, he didn't need to finish." Everyone knew what happened to beings who found themselves stranded on Deathworlds. The environment itself would kill them within hours, assuming the native predators didn't find them first. Yelnara's decision was made with the cold calculation of someone who had spent decades in emergency response. There was only one force in the galaxy capable of mounting a rescue operation on a Class XII Deathworld. "Open a priority channel to Earth Space Command," she ordered. "Authorization Code Delta 77. Tell them we have a humanitarian emergency in their territory." The response came within minutes, not through conventional subspace communication, but as a direct quantum entanglement burst that bypassed their security systems entirely. The voice that emerged from their speakers was deep, gravelly, and utterly calm, despite the crisis at hand. "This is Admiral Marcus Chen, commanding the Terran Emergency Response Fleet. We've already detected your people's distress beacon. Full Deathworlder fleet is mobilizing as we speak." On the tactical display, space around Earth began to light up with energy signatures. Ships were launching from orbital installations, emerging from asteroid bases, rising from the ocean depths of the water world itself. The human fleet wasn't just large, it was impossibly diverse, each vessel seemingly designed for a different type of hell. "Admiral," Yelnara managed, trying to keep the awe from her voice, "we're prepared to offer standard rescue compensation for—" "Negative," Chen interrupted, his voice carrying an edge that made several bridge crew members flinch. "No one dies on our watch. Not in our space. Rescue Protocol Omega is in effect." Through the view screens, they watched the human fleet take formation. The lead vessel was the UHSV Indomitable, a kilometer-long leviathan that looked less like a starship and more like a mobile fortress. Its hull was scarred from countless encounters with environments that would have vaporized conventional vessels, its armor plating designed to withstand pressures that existed only in the cores of gas giants. Behind it came the specialized rescue craft ships that could operate in the crushing depths of gas giant atmospheres, vessels that could survive in the radiation-soaked hell of stellar coronas, craft that could land safely on worlds where the surface temperature reached thousands of degrees. This was the fleet of a species that had not just survived on one of the galaxy's most hostile worlds, but had thrived there. "Sir," Veltar reported, his voice filled with wonder, "I'm reading atmospheric entry signatures. The humans are diving directly into Sol 3's atmosphere." What followed was a masterclass in Deathworlder rescue operations. The human ships didn't hesitate at the crushing gravity that would have pulverized most vessels. They didn't slow for the corrosive oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere that could dissolve hull plating. They simply plunged into the hell world like it was their natural environment, which, Yelnara realized with growing amazement, it was. The scientific endeavor had crashed into what human databases classified as a temperate forest, a nightmare landscape, where massive plant organisms competed for survival by reaching impossible heights, where the air itself was thick with oxygen at concentrations that would cause cellular damage to most species. Worse, the crash site was located in what humans called the Amazon Basin, a region teeming with biological diversity so aggressive that it had become synonymous with certain death among galactic explorers. Contact established with the crash survivors, Admiral Chen reported. All 17 crew members are alive but injured. The local ecosystem is investigating their presence. Through the quantum link, they could hear the sounds of the rescue in progress. Human voices shouting coordinates in their harsh, consonant-heavy language. The roar of atmospheric engines fighting gravity that would have grounded any civilized aircraft. And underneath it all, the alien sounds of Earth's biosphere, the calls of creatures that had evolved in an environment so hostile that they were literally toxic to most galactic life. Deathworlder Team Alpha has reached the crash site, came another voice, this one belonging to the rescue commander on the ground, establishing perimeter. Local predators are maintaining distance, but we've got injured civilians who need immediate medical attention. What happened next defied everything the galactic community thought they knew about Deathworlder operations. The humans didn't just extract the survivors, they set up a complete field hospital in the middle of one of the galaxy's most dangerous environments. Portable atmospheric processors created breathable air bubbles for the aliens. Medical teams worked with precision that would have impressed the finest hospitals in civilized space, all while wearing environmental suits that protected them from their own planet's attempts to kill them. "This is incredible," whispered Dr. Vorthaki, the station's chief medical officer. "They're performing surgery in the middle of a Class XII biohazard zone." Through the video feeds, they watched human medics work with calm efficiency as creatures that existed only in xenobiological nightmares prowled just beyond the perimeter. Massive arthropods, the size of ground vehicles, watched the proceedings with alien intelligence, while aerial predators with wingspans measured in meters circled overhead like living aircraft. "Local wildlife is curious, but not aggressive," Admiral Chen reported. "My people know how to coexist with Earth's ecosystem. We've been doing it for millennia." The rescue operation took 6 hours. 6 hours, during which the watching aliens gained a new appreciation for just what it meant to be a Deathworlder. The humans didn't just survive in their hostile environment, they commanded it. They moved through forests that would have been instantly lethal to galactic civilization, like they were strolling through a garden. They handled atmospheric conditions that would have required full environmental suits with nothing more than basic breathing apparatus. When the last of the scientific endeavor's crew was safely aboard the rescue vessels, Admiral Chen's voice returned to the quantum link. All personnel recovered. 17 individuals, various injuries, but all stable. We're transferring them to our medical station for treatment before return to galactic space. Admiral Yelnara managed, still struggling to process what she had witnessed. "How do we? What compensation do we offer for?" "None required," Chen interrupted. Emergency rescue is a basic obligation of any civilized species. Your people called for help. We answered. That's what neighbors do. As the human fleet disappeared back into the atmospheric hell of their homeworld, the aliens sat in stunned silence. They had always known that Deathworlders were dangerous, that they were tough, that they could survive in environments that would kill anything else. But they had never understood the deeper implications of that survival. Humans didn't just live on a death world. They had become something beyond what normal evolution could produce, beings so adapted to extremes that they considered a Class XII biohazard zone to be home. And more than that, they had developed a culture where diving into the literal gates of hell to save complete strangers wasn't heroism, it was simply what civilized beings did for each other. Sir, Veltar said quietly, I'm updating our emergency protocols. In the event of any crisis in Sol System space. Yes, Yolnara agreed, her tentacles still trembling with residual awe. Full Deathworlder fleet deployment. No questions asked, because when death itself called for help, there was only one species in the galaxy insane enough and capable enough to answer.